Welcome into another edition of the Leadership Library, hosted by CEO and author Rocky Romanella. Rocky is the author of the book Tighten the Lug Nuts, The Principles of Balanced Leadership, and has over 40 years of business experience as a prominent member of the UPS Supply Chain Solutions team, as well as the CEO of Unitech Global Services. So sit back, grab your notebook, and take a seat, and get ready for this edition of the Leadership Library.
Welcome to the Leadership Library. I'm your host, Rocky Romanella. We're going to continue our series on action plans. Today, we're going to talk about the strengths. As we said before, we have strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. We're not calling them threats. We're saying the positive of barriers. And so let's today talk about strengths. And I think this is the one part that everyone gets excited about in the action plan, because you start to feel pretty good about yourself. You start to feel good about your organization because you start to think about, well, what are we good at? What are the things that we do really well? I mean, we always talk about the things we need to improve, which is being constructively critical. However, let's talk today about what are some of the strengths and how those strengths can help us. So as you're starting to think about your strengths, some of them are going to clearly be things that make you very proud, like our leadership abilities. We have a really good leadership team. We have a really good group of people in our organization. And frankly, the second strength is we make good decisions. We may not always be right, but we make good decisions. So we're proud of the fact that part of our core strengths are the fact that we have great leadership abilities, we have good leaders, and we make good decisions. So those are all good things. Quality. Quality is job one inside our organization. We used to hear that all the time on those Ford commercials. So quality is something we're very proud of and something that we lead with as an organization. Customer service. When we do, we're proud of our quality, but when we do have a service disconnect, our customer service kicks in and we do good follow-up as an organization. We care about our customers. And our customers, we think like a customer. And if you think about it for a second, you're starting to see now the balanced leadership inside of these strengths, right? So far, we're talking about leadership. We're talking about our customers in terms of quality, our customer service. How about efficiency and technology? Those are things that have become core strengths. Are we a technology company or are we an X company? Well, almost all companies end up being technology companies because whether it's e-commerce, you're driven by your technology strength. You're driven by your ability to communicate with your customers through technology. So you want technology to be a core strength of yours, and you want to be an efficient organization. How about your alliances and partnerships? Great companies understand how important it is to work with, to have alliances, to have partnerships with maybe their vendors, other people inside the organization, other companies that they're not in competition with, but they do business with. So it's important for you to understand your alliances and your partnerships, and they could be an important strength of your organization. I think companies that understand their intellectual property is huge. There are things that you developed over the course of time that differentiate you from your competitors. I think your ability to understand your intellectual capital, your intellectual property, such an important part of your company and becomes a core strength. And finally, two quick ones in my mind. I'm thinking brand would be one of them because brand's so important. You work hard for your brand. If you think about it, brand identity, brand recognition is so important. Today, if you sneeze, I would say, hey, you need a Kleenex. Kleenex is the company, but it becomes synonymous with the brand, right? So if you think about that, for example. And then finally, through all these trends, have you gained a cost advantage because of your efficiency, your intellectual property, the way you do business? So if you think about those core strengths, and in this case, these core strengths are also part of the balanced leadership triangle we talk a lot about, because you have quality and customer service, so your customers are represented. You have efficiency and technology, so your share owner stakeholders are represented. You have a cost advantage. And then finally, your people are represented because of the quality and your leadership abilities, your decision-making abilities is because you've trained and developed good quality leaders. So you can see that we're clearly in balance there. So these would fall under your strengths in your action plans and in your SWOT analysis. Next, we'll talk about the weaknesses, the W in the SWOT, SWOT analysis. So let's talk a little bit about weaknesses in our next episode. But feel good about your strengths. It's a great exercise, if nothing else. You get a chance to recognize your strengths and also then recognize the people inside your organization who really have those strengths on behalf of your company. Until our next Leadership Library podcast, thank you for joining us. And always look for the opportunity to thank your people. The W in SWOT analysis really gives you a chance to do that. Be safe. Talk to you soon.